Hello everyone, welcome back to Susie Saves. I am Susie, and today is our budget closeout day. So, technically, I get paid on Thursdays. My husband gets paid on Fridays. But we do the budget until that Friday. And then technically we make the budgets like the week before, and then I write them out here on YouTube on Mondays. So the weekend is on the next budget. It's just that the budget video doesn't come out until Monday. I hope that makes sense. So here we are. It is technically the end of our week since we've just gotten paid. So we're going to go ahead and wrap up last week's budget. If you're interested in more videos about budgeting and such, tomorrow will be our cash stuffing, which is everyone's favorite weekly video. Monday, like I said, we're going to be opening next week's budget. And then Tuesday, we go online and we talk about all the stuff that doesn't get pulled out for our cash stuffing. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump on into it. For income, I made $790. This is changing because I just started a new position. Next week is the last paycheck from my old job. So next week is still the same, but the week after that, we get to see how much of a pay increase, if any. I don't know exactly how it'll be going because we have to get medical taken out. I'll be having a 401k, so that'll get taken out. So it might end up being about the same, but we'll see. My husband does get paid bi-weekly. He gets $1,900 bi-weekly. I go ahead and split that into 2 weeks, so that's $950 for the 2 weeks. This is just because I preferred a weekly budget. This is different for everyone, and maybe someday we'll be able to move to a bi-weekly schedule, but that's just not the case right now. I also have a side hustle going on. It's been decent. I don't know how much I'll be making from it. It might kind of be over. They come and go in spurts. It's just kind of how it is. But that was $140 this week. So we're just going to make sure that the math is correct on that. Nope. There we go. So this week we had $1,880 to budget with. And I'm a zero-based budgeter, which means we're going to give every dollar of this something to do. So as you can see, I round everything, and the extra change just stays in the buffer. It's not that important to me. I always round up to make sure there is enough money instead of rounding down, because then you could be behind on something. So let's begin. Our monthly rent is $800, so we take that and we divide it by 4 for 4 weeks in the month, and it's $200. This week we actually get 5 paychecks because there are 5 like Thursday, Fridays in the month, but we're just gonna not pay towards the rent that last like magic week is what we call it when you get an initial paycheck. So we're just going to not pay for those things on that week. We are going to start paying electricity, so we went ahead and put $50 towards that. We have not been paying this before, so this is a rough estimate. I don't know how much this is going to be, but at the end of the month, we'll have $250 saved up for that, and I believe we get that bill on like the 15th of the following month, so we'll have a little bit of time in between to save up some money if that bill comes out to be larger than expected. Our internet bill is $91, so we divide that by 4 as well, $22.75. We always round up, so that's $23. So those are our non-variable expenses. They are the same every week. Electricity could change, but right now we're putting the same amount towards it every week because we don't know what it's going to be. Groceries and all of these can be variable expenses, so they're not the same every month. So let's go through these and talk about what we spent. So for groceries, we only spent $45. We had a lot of leftovers from last week. I mostly went and bought like fruit and veggies, things that went bad, and then we went ahead and stocked up on some meats. So that was pretty good. For gas, my husband gets $50, and then I spent $39, so that's $89 for gas. Miscellaneous, we did not spend out of, and then for eating out, we spent $45. We got $5 left in that. Me and my husband get discretionary spending money each week. We get $50. This has been building up. We don't often spend $50 a week, but it is there for us to spend or save. If we'd like to go on a bigger trip or something, we could save it and do that. But because I want this money to feel available and non-committal and I don't know what you want to call it. I don't want to feel guilty about spending this money. It is money set aside to be spent on things we want, our wants. So I don't track this money. So I'm not like this where I'm like, oh, I have $30 left over from groceries, all that. I did not buy anything with this money this week. I'm going to act as though I have spent it. All right. I'm going to say it's done its job. It is in the spending account to be spent on whenever and whatever, and the amount we are allowed to spend is whatever's in the spending account, because that's just how it works. So we always act as though it's been completely spent, so I don't try to reallocate that money into somewhere else, which we will do at the end here when we add up the money that we spent, because clearly we were under budget this week. YouTube and Netflix are our subscriptions, so those are the same every month. These are $5 a week. I think they're like $20 a month. The $5 a week has been working just fine, so we're going to keep it at that. So this means, on our spending this month, we spent $522. So as you can see, this is less than what we thought we were going to spend by $101. So we're going to tell that money somewhere else to go. Just to make sure that if you don't, for me, if I don't give the money a place to go, like all the extra money, it will disintegrate, fly away. I don't know, it just disappears. So I take the time to reallocate it and send it somewhere else. We're going to skip savings real quick and go down to our sinking funds. So I mentioned tomorrow we're going to be doing cash stuffing. So if you're interested, you can look. Basically, I put all my spending money into cash because we're just bad about credit cards and things right now. So we have different folders in here that are labeled like with different things. So pets, car maintenance, our rent, and I pull money out once a week to do these. And this is where I budget for that. So if you watch that video, you'll see me actually put money towards these categories. But these are some of the categories that we budget for. So for phone bill and car insurance, both of these are mine. I'm on like my husband's or my family's car insurance and phone bill. My husband is on his family's car insurance and phone bill. They've never asked him to pay that. We're not going to look a gift horse in the mouth. Eventually, obviously, these will transfer into us and we'll have just the two of us on the accounts. But for right now, it is cheaper to have like a larger family plan. So I pay mine. I've always paid mine. That was one of the stipulations of like me driving and me getting a phone, was that I would pay those bills. So I'm very used to this. This is the agreement me and my family have made. He just doesn't have that with his, so we don't worry about putting that here because we don't pay for that. These are about $650 a year. My family will pay it, and then at the end of the year, I will reimburse them for what and they'll like give me the bill, basically, about how much my part was. So I just divide that by 52 weeks in the year, and it gives us 12.5. We're gonna round up to 13. Now, it could always be more, providers change stuff all the time, and I'm not like constantly pestering my family about how much the phone bill was this month or did the rates go up or anything like that. $650 is higher than I paid last year for those things, but at the end of the year, I will have at least $650 to pay it. If it ends up being closer to $700, we can then cash flow that the rest of the way. And then that will be the target for the next year. Car maintenance gets $10, gifts gets $10, health gets $20, and pets gets $10. These are my revolving sinking funds. So these have an end date, right? So in December sometime, my family will add up my portion of the plans and they will give me the bill. These are getting taken out of all of the time. Car maintenance. Hey, I need wipers. Hey, time for an oil change. It's been 2 months or whatever. Tires for the new cold season. all of these things are constantly being paid for, so we are constantly putting money in here so that we don't like just have to lump sum the money, right? So this can also be, we have $1,000 emergency in there just in case. So if you're out on the road, tire pops, we're SOL, right? So instead we have the money in there to pay the tow truck, get the new tire, do all that stuff. So we are constantly putting money into this and taking money out of it. That's just how we use it. Same with the gifts, health, and pets. Gifts gets money put into it. Then when a birthday, Christmas, unexpected event, right? We had a baby this year, not us, but we had to pay for like a gift for a birth. And we also had a wedding that we had to pay for. So there are things that pop up and gifts you want to give people, and you meet new people throughout the year, and then you learn their birthday, and you think about getting them a gift or things like that. So that is also there. Health, this is for co-pays. It can also be for like hygiene products, depending on what they are, supplements, things like that, or leftover medical bills. So both me and my husband, he is still on his family's insurance until the end of next month, I think, but I am not, so I've been having to pay for doctor's appointments and prescription out of pocket, which is why this got like invented. But we also, yeah, if you want supplements or vitamins or something for your health, we take it out of here. So for instance, if you wanted to buy protein shakes, instead of being like, oh, we don't have money for milk and protein shakes, like that's not in the grocery budget, we've taken that out of the grocery budget in order to help. Like you wouldn't want to buy like allergy medicine with food money, right? So those are in different categories. And then pets, we have 5 animals. We have 3 little cats and 2 lizards. They're bearded dragons. So the lizards, sometimes their lights burn out. They get crickets once a week with calcium powder. We also buy fresh fruit and veggies for them. So obviously we can't take that from the grocery budget because we don't eat it, right? So that is for them. So they have their own category for that. Cat litter, flea medicine, even toys, stuff like that, that will come out of the pet fund. And like I said, we're paying for those things throughout the year, all the time. So we're gonna add to this category every week. Also, there's a $500 buffer in here. That is for their vet. The cats do a yearly vet visit for a rabies shot. I think they take a couple other shots, but though that tends to be around $400, maybe a little bit more than $400. So we have a $500 buffer in there for that appointment in February. And then we stuff them, like I said, in the weekly cash stuffing videos if you're interested in watching any of that. Debt, we have none. We have been debating getting a credit card simply for yes, which is annoying, but we just switched the electricity into our name, and that came with a deposit because we didn't have credit. That was $400. That's not on this budget, that's on next week's budget. But anyway, so because of that is a little annoying, we might want to eventually buy a house. So we've been debating. We already have reoccurring bills that we know are the same every month. So if we put at least those bills on a card and then continue to save up for them like we have been, we should be totally fine. So we've been debating that. If you have a favorite one, let us know. I have to do all the research about what the different perks are, which ones are good and which ones are bad. And it's kind of daunting, and I haven't been doing it because it's been kind of daunting, to be honest. So if you have a favorite, please let me know. So now we're going to go through these numbers, and we're going to put a little bit more towards savings so that we can zero out this budget. So we made $1,880 this week. We spent our $522 on our expenses. We spent $76 on our sinking funds, and this leaves us with $1,282 to put towards our savings in order to make sure that every dollar has a place to go. So I already contributed to both Roths and our brokerage stock account this week, so I'm not going to change those numbers. We put $250 towards mine and my husband's Roth IRAs. We always get the same amount. I think that that's fair. I don't think it matters that one of us makes more than the other because we're leapfrogging all the time with our salaries. So We always get the same amount until obviously like one of us is full up, and then make sure that the other one gets full as well. Stocks got $25. We have a 2 here. I only deal in 5s and 0s for this category, so we're going to go ahead and move that 2 up to our buffer. And that's going to leave us with $755 to put towards our savings, which we already put $655, so we're just going to take that extra $100 and move it to the savings. That's how I do it. This is the budget closeout. That's how I do it. I hope that makes sense. Maybe it doesn't. I'll try to explain it better as the weeks come, but that is it. Like I said, we have a budget opening on Monday with the last of my old income, and then we'll have to see what the new income will be the week after that, which I'm super excited for. If you're interested in the cash stuffing and how all of that works, please watch the video tomorrow. It'll be out. It's everyone's favorite video. It's very exciting and fun to learn about, I think. So thank you all so much for being here. I hope you're having a fantastic Saturday, and I will see you tomorrow. Have a good day, everyone.